What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. What's good, y'all? Sixth element of hip hop. I'm your host, Reno Noir. We've got a good show for you tonight, as always. And we should be welcoming our co-host Stu Dog in a little bit here. And let me see. Let me check the mic volume. Good. Peace. What up, Corey? What up? Salute. Yeah, man. It is X-Men Mutant Monday and all of that good stuff. It is. It's been a great show. X-Men 97. Just phenomenal. And we got some news, some info, some inside info on the main villain. We're gonna chop up episode 7. Oh my God. I mean, talk about epic. Talk about game changing. I mean, shit went down in this episode. Shit really went down in this episode. But before we get to that, we've got a little bit of updates on some comics in the realm of X-Men. And speaking of the badassery that Rogue has been displaying as of late, she is now going to be the new leader of the X-Men. It's never happened before. Obviously, Rogue's never been the boss by any means. But hey, it's a different era. It's a different generation. Hey, we're doing some different things, and let's see what it's about. Might be cool. And we're going to talk about that too. Generations, man. Is it superhero fatigue, or is it a generational divide? Is it some clan, some agenda, some left-wing agenda? What is it, man? What's going on here? So we're going to talk about that. But this summer, yes, Rogue will lead the X-Men in a new series set in New Orleans, and it's going to be dope. She's replacing Professor X as the leader in a new series that the team will relocate to New Orleans, and Marvel's new era for the X-Men, dubbed From the Ashes, because Krakoa has fallen, and of course, we gotta rise again, like the mutants always do, and they always do, bro. They always do. This always happens. But we always get back. But yeah, man, From the Ashes, we'll see the world's mutants divided among separate teams. And so joining Rogue in the Uncanny X-Men title, because there will be 3 titles. There'll be Uncanny X-Men, there'll be X-Men, and then there'll be, what's the third one called? I'll get back to you on that. But there's 3 new titles coming out. But Marvel has now released some more information about this new Uncanny X-Men series from writer Gail Simone, along with the cover arts. I'll show you a couple dope covers. But in a world without Professor X or the iconic X Mansion to call home, Rogue and her team of X-Men will set up shop in New Orleans. There they will resume the X-Men's, classic status as outlaw heroes. Gambit, is definitely rides the fence, right? Rogue was started off as a villain. So, as Rogue tries to bring the rest of the mutants back together, her team will discover a malignant new force that is hunting the world's mutants. And whatever terrible secrets this fearless new power possesses could destroy what's left of the X-Men. Oh, no. But yeah, Rogue's team rise from the ashes. Marvel's ongoing Fall of X event has seen the mutant nation of Krakoa decimated, and anti-mutant organizations known as Orcus taking shit over. And the dream of a mutant utopia is not a new one. We've seen it many times. the word utopia brings to mind. But yeah, this one is the next one. It's been shattered as always and scattered to the wind. But X-Men must, battle the humans, AI, and each other for survival. And Professor X has embraced his dark side in an effort to keep the world's mutants from being exterminated. And he had to, fucking had to. But whatever happens the next chapter in the saga, the Marvel's Merry Mutants will explore a world without Xavier, and in his absence, Rogue's got to step up and unite the mutants of the world, because there's not a lot of mutants left. Orcus wiped out a lot, and then of course Professor X took a bunch to Mars, but Rogue's core team in this Uncanny X-Men title will include her husband and New Orleans native Gambit, who is alive in this one and well, along with Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Jubilee. So it's a dope team. Gambit, Wolverine, and Nightcrawler, three of my favorite just characters, let alone X-Men. Rogue, I dig Rogue. Jubilee, she's growing on me. Not a big fan. I mean, just Jubilee, but we know what they do, why they rounded the team off that way. But together, this team will fight to bring mutants together and protect them from the a world that hates them and fears them. Uncanny X-Men will be one of several new team books launching as part of the From the Ashes run event. And other titles will focus on Cyclops and his band of mutant revolutionaries in X-Men. That's the name of that one. Exceptional X-Men. That's yeah, great name. But yeah, the X-Men title will go to Cyclops and his band of revolutionary guys. I think he'll have Emma Frost, Kitty Pryde, and no. Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde are the ones that are running the exceptional team. This is a Chicago-based thing, so we've got Rogue in New Orleans, and we've got Emma Frost in them in Chicago, doing the exceptional X-Men by Eve Ewing, daughter of Al Ewing, the great Al Ewing, phenomenal comic writer. So hopefully his daughter is good. Is his daughter his wife? Oh, somebody let me know. But there will also be a new X-Force series led by Forge, while Nyx will focus on younger mutants like Ms. Marvel and Wolverine, NYX. So Gail Simone, the author of this title with Rogue as the leader, she said, "Most of my time lately has been spent trying to keep my brain from exploding right out of my skull from this book. It's either the fun of all my favorite mutants acting in surprising and wonderful ways, the impossibly brilliant work of the art team, or the thrilling collaboration with all the other writers. But somehow every day is just filled with some kind of manic joy. Ever since I took the book, I've been scribbling notes and plots and bits of dialogue day and night. I feel like a kid at a carnival. Who doesn't want to write Rogue and Jubilee and Gambit, all the rest?" No Wolverine. Well, Marquez, the author, said X-Men, Uncanny X-Men is the book that made me fall in love with comics. So he's a true fan. He said it's been a dream come true getting to work with Gail, Matt Wilson, and the whole Marvel editorial crew under Tom Brevoort, to put together this story. Badass, heartfelt, action-packed, character-driven X-Men mystery. I hope readers have at least half as much fun reading it as I have had making it. So yeah, it's and the X-Mansion has been transformed into something evil. It's another new development for the series is the revelation that the famous school for mutants, the X-Mansion in Westchester, New York, is gone. No more. According to Marvel, the X-Mansion has been transformed into a nightmare reflection of itself called Grimalkin Prison. So it does have a name, Grimalkin Prison. that word Grimalkin should come in. Should be familiar. Slim Jim, salute. What up? But yeah, Grimalkin. The Grimalkins. But yeah, the school housed in the mansion long served as the home base for the X-Men, and it was the first. It was first introduced as Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, and then later came to be known by a number of different names, including the Xavier Institute for Higher Learning. It's been the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. It's been the Xavier Institute for Mutant Education and Outreach. It's been the X Mansion, but it was largely abandoned in the wake of Krakoa's founding. We have Krakoa now. We don't need the X Mansion. We don't need New York. We don't need the United States. We don't need any of that because we have our own sovereign nation. That was the deal with Krakoa, man. It was beautiful. But all things must end, especially for mutants. But it was largely abandoned. So, but it was recently revealed that Cable keeps a stash of weapons hidden at the mansion. Cable is my boy. Cable is my favorite. Cable will always be my favorite dude. But yeah, if it's unclear if Greymalkin Prison is a remnant of the mutant detention camps Orchis has set up during Fall of X, or if it has anything to do with the mysterious power that's hunting mutants right now in this book. But what is clear, however, is that Professor X and his home are gone, meaning that Rogue and her team of X-Men will be on their own as they fight to protect a world that fears them, and hates them as they always have. But yeah, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men #1 will be available in August 8th. To be exact. That was lame. Before we get into the X-Men joint, Marvel has always wanted its own Batman The Dark Knight Returns, right? Batman Dark Knight Returns was something epic for DC. It changed the game. It was just something just dark and different. Good guy characters who was always actually kind of campy and fun into a dark, brooding Dark Knight. And so now finally Marvel has one. They've got their own. Frank Miller, redefined Batman with The Dark Knight Returns, and Marvel wants the same for the Avengers. And why not? Batman The Dark Knight Returns changed Batman. It changed DC Comics. Arguably comics as a whole. It was that epic. It was that game. 38 years later, the comic is either #1 or #2 in the best-selling DC collections always, and it has been for decades. It's created by Frank Miller, coming to DC after making his name with his seminal work on Daredevil. An obvious question has been, why hasn't Marvel done something like Dark Knight Returns? Well, actually, they have, and it's taken 8 years of work. And in 2016, during the release of the second sequel to Dark Knight Returns, then Marvel editor-in-chief Alex Alonso, the company's executive editor, Tom Brevoort, and its senior VP of Business Affairs and Talent Management, David Bogart, realized amongst themselves that Marvel should have something like what Frank Miller had made for DC and Batman. And he says, Brevoort says, quote, "We were talking about why it was that Marvel didn't have a future storyline along those Dark Knight lines. And I went away overnight and came back the next day with the bare bones of the plot for Avengers Twilight. And but Axel and David both commented on it, making suggestions and giving ideas that went into the final product. And that was in 2016. It wasn't until 2019 that Chip Zdarsky and artist Daniel Acuna became involved, and that's when shit got real, because Zdarsky is a beast, and phenomenal at. He is kind of like a Frank Miller. He's a true crime guy, very good at like crime. That's funny. He actually, my favorite Zdarsky, what really introduced me to Zdarsky was his Daredevil run, which is what Frank Miller is famous for. So they kind of both, at least in my eyes, started with Daredevil, and that's peak. They're very similar, and in that sort of noir, dark, true crime kind of tip. But yeah, a 5-year process to write and draw a series is not unheard of. But in the world of monthly comics that Marvel sits in, it's very rare. And according to Brevoort, the fact that Avengers Twilight wasn't in the same time period as other Marvel books made it very easy to postpone, when the schedule of Marvel and the creators became too tight. But like, it's not connected to the mainstream continuity. Well, here's what he says exactly. He says, as a project that wasn't connected to the mainstream continuity of the Marvel Universe, Twilight was easy to push back in favor of other things. So it wound up scheduled a few times during that period, and then being kicked back when the month wound up too many releases, most of which were contemporary and needed to come out at that moment. And the ties between Avengers Twilight and Batman The Dark Knight Returns are so fucking obvious that Marvel had to hire Frank Miller to draw a variant cover, just to say, look, we know, and not try to act like they're not doing that, because it's blatant, but it's dope. But yeah, the Frank Miller cover is sick with Captain America, in the Frank Miller style. It's very cool. But yeah, Avengers Twilight, man, has been dope. If you haven't started reading it, it's already on. It's only on issue number 6. Well, it will be May 29th. You can get issue number 6. But yeah, if you haven't started, man, go pick that up, dude. Because I'm telling y'all, I've been reading it. It's dope. It's dope. Where's that thing? So yeah, oh, we've got a dope little thing that's happening in the comic called Annihilation 2099, where Ghost Rider and Silver Surfer are mashing up and taking on Mephisto, and I mean mashing up into like one character. They're meshing together into one being, and it's pretty dope. I got the cover here right here. It's sick as fuck. Check this shit out. Annihilation 2099. That's it. That's Ghost Rider mashed up with Silver Surfer. You can kind of see the flames coming out of his top of his head, but he's still got the silver, silver body. He's sick, and then he's blasting Mephisto there, who's just like giving an evil cackle. Yeah. But yeah, it's two characters in one. Ghost Rider, Silver Surfer, each, I think, from a totally different era in comics, rooted in science fiction. You have Silver Surfer, perhaps the best embodiment of the spirit of the Silver Age, and then Ghost Rider, created a few years later, definitely an emblem of a darker period, more towards the 80s, and when it got good. But supernatural and magic themed characters like Dracula, Werewolf by Night, Son of Satan, all that came popular around the Silver Age, and put that sort of, well, they put Marvel on the map, really. But at the same time, Ghost Rider and Silver Surfer share a lot in common, of course, beyond using their supercharged vehicles that they both have to get around. Both Johnny Blaze and Norrin Rad made great sacrifices for their power. They both gave up like their life to have that power, and neither of them really got a good deal, right? Both of them kind of got fucked, and neither of them really per se wanted to do it, but transformed into beings of great power. Ghost Rider and Silver Surfer wage their solitary battles across the Marvel universe. But yeah, I mean, both have worked with other heroes and even belong to different superhero teams. Ghost Rider, Silver Surfer, definitely are loner types. So yeah, I think it's genius to mash up these two, man. I do agree. And it's just something cool to check out. It's Annihilation 2099 number 4 on sale in July 24th. Yeah, man, check that out. And as for 2024, let's go over real quick before we do that. The Marvel and Star Wars releases for this year. This May, rather, 4 Marvel and Star Wars shows are headed to Disney Plus. So we've got a lot of new content to stream. Disney Plus has been all over the news recently. At the end of March, the official logo for the service changed from blue to green, reflecting the ongoing integration of Disney and Hulu, which I think was definitely a good move because Disney was just running thin. I mean, if you ran out of Disney stuff and stuff like that, you kind of had to go. But now it's like Hulu's there, so everything is on there. It does definitely give a more complete experience and make it but the price, they're jacking up the price. I don't know, man. These streaming services, bro, they're gonna have to figure something out because we can't live on just one. They're all priced. They all want us to just have their service. They're all set up. They want to be this all-encompassing. Each one wants to be the one that you have. Go with Disney Plus or go with Netflix or go with Max. The problem is we kind of have to get them all because you all have shows that the other ones don't have, and you all have your, specific content, and we got to keep up, man. So you guys are gonna have to come down and make it where we can afford to get them all, or else we're just gonna go back to cable. Fuck it. I'm saying it. No, I'm kidding. I'm definitely not doing that. But earlier this week, a report from somewhere released saying Disney Plus may be adding a 24/7 always-on channels to the platform in the future, something to just like stay going. And amid all this change, Disney Plus continues to add new content, particularly to Marvel and Star Wars, because those are the cash cows, let's be honest. And as revealed in April 16th press release, we've got four joints coming. We've got, of course, the Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 15. On Wednesday, May 1st, Star Wars Bad Batch will come to a close. Season 3, Episode 15 marks the series finale of the Disney Plus show. Not the season finale, the series finale. It's the end of the show. The third season premiered in February and has given fans months of Clone Wars spin-off content, hopefully to come to a satisfying conclusion in the finale May 1st. With a focus on Omega and Project Necromancer, I think the show provides fans with answers that, and further story about exactly what brought back Palpatine for the sequel trilogy, and tries to make sense of that nonsense. But Dave Filoni doing his best. Always that. The first of many Star Wars releases this year. That's not just Bad Batch. We're getting that Tales of the Empire, man. I cannot fucking word. But X-Men 97 Season 1 Episodes 8 through 10 for month of May. All May we got the final 3 Season 1 episodes. It sucks, man. I don't want this show to end. It sucks because I know it does have to end pretty soon here, but yeah, the season finale episodes, the 3 finale episodes, rather 3 last episodes in May. And X-Men 97 has been a very emotional journey for everyone watching, whether they grew up on the original X-Men animated series or know the team from the comics, or just meeting them for the first time. This show has definitely been, pulling on them chords, them heartstrings. But though it is, certainly for anyone, though the show pays homage to its predecessor in a lot of ways. And I think, like my son, who's not really a comic fan, he's all into anime, he's all into manga and stuff like that, but he he doesn't. For a manga fan, for an anime fan, the show isn't really going to be that. If that's all you know, it's not. You're not going to be into it, and so it's not going to be for really. It's really, I think, it's really for the fans of the original show. Let's keep it a buck. We are ecstatic. We couldn't be happier. It's just super good, super dope, super great if you love the original show. If you didn't know the original show, you probably won't give too much of a fuck. And that's just, it is what it is. It's still a great show, but it's really great for us. It's not so epic for others, so I get that. But, it's still good. And, of course, episode 5 was crazy. Episode 6 was bananas. Episode 7, they get better and better. But still a great way to reference what came before this series is by introducing the multi-part finale on Disney Plus. Yes, some projects have seen, the final 2 episodes connect to one another directly. But this marks the first MCU or MCU adjacent show to fully lean into the multi-part naming structure. In fact, these last 3 episodes are entitled. They're part of a single 3-part finale. So it's like Tolerance is Extinction Part 1, Tolerance is Extinction Part 2, and then Part 3 respectively. And will come out May 1st, May 8th, and May 15th. The third show that I'm super duper excited about is Tales of the Empire. This is a Star Wars show. It's like Tales of the Jedi, which was phenomenal. And this is Tales of the Empire. So it's going to be about, the Empire. But I think it should be called Tales of the Sith. I really do. But maybe not. Maybe it does. No, I think Tales of the Sith needs to happen, though. Tales of the Empire is dope. We did Tales of the Jedi. Fine. This is Tales of the Empire. Cool. We need Tales of the Sith and Tales of the Rebellion. Ooh, Tales of the Bounty Hunter. Tales of the Smuggler? No. But hey, there's some definite. We can do this, man. This show can go on, man. You can really do all kinds of cool shit with this show. It's like prequels. It's throwbacks. And that's what all great Star Wars lore is. It's just prequels of shit we heard about in the movies. More in-depth descriptions or examples of shit that we heard about in the movies. That's basically what Star Wars lore is. And this is going to be like a collection of 6 short episodes. And just before the first dark side centric live action series, The Acolyte, which is also, based on the Sith and stuff like that. Not really, but I don't even want to talk about it. Okay. The Acolyte. I'm not going to go there. I'm not. The Tales of the Empire will focus on Night Sister Morgan Elsbeth and former Jedi Barriss Offee. And, other characters from the Empire will appear, like Grievous and Vader and all that good shit. But yeah, it'll release 6 animated shorts this in May on Saturday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you, all that goodness. And then this I'm really excited about too. I mean, these are great. These are 4 great things that we're going to see. This is really cool. This is going to be, the 4th thing is Marvel Studios assembled the making of X-Men 97. So you've probably seen some of the Marvel Studios assembled. They're like behind the scenes for MCU movies and shit like that. This one is for X-Men 97. Like the previous Disney Plus releases, X-Men 97 will have an unscripted, behind the scenes look at the making of the show. On the, following the finale episode and all that. But Marvel Studios assembled making of the X-Men 97 will hit Disney Plus on Wednesday, May 22nd. And when it releases, fans can expect to see many of the voice actors who returned, like Cal Dodd and those for the reboot from the original series, as well as, a lot of the creatives who made it happen. And it'll be interesting to see how, prominent of a role the seasons 1 and 2 showrunner Bo DeMeo will play in the making of 97, since he's now been fired. He was at the helm of the project, steering it the entire way, wrote the fucking thing, gave us everything that's great about it, and then was suddenly fired, probably for some stupid shit. I know it was something stupid because you know how they do. They always do something stupid. Dude, you better hope that this show is still as good with the next writer, because, man, the guy that wrote this shit, he's really good. He's really good. He's good because he doesn't alienate me with corny shit, but at the same time, it's, you know, corny enough. But, you know, perhaps his screen time or potential lack thereof could offer some insight into why he was let go so out of the blue, because we don't really have any info on that. Nothing real, and I'm not going to start rumors. But yeah, man, May 22nd, Wednesday, X-Men Assembled, or Marvel Studios assembled X-Men 97, the making of. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, and we've got the list, guys. We've got the list of the May 1st, May 1's new comics going on right now in Marvel. That's about to hit on May 1st. The bloodiest Marvel event ever begins this week in comics. The skies have gone dark, the sun hiding its face from the carnage to come. Children of the night, the vampires have risen from the dark and hidden places of the world as one to drown the Marvel universe in blood. Earth's final night has fallen. Even the heroes of this doomed world stem the tide that is to come. Joining the Avengers, Blade, Bloodline, Spider-Man, Hunter's Moon, Tigra, Doctor Strange, and Clea as the dance of death begins in Blood Hunt #1. We've got the most intensely mismatched team in comics and pop culture. The best there is, and the Merc with the mouth undergoes a radical change as Deadpool and Wolverine Deadpool and Wolverine World War II, or World War III. It's called World War II. It's called Deadpool and Wolverine World War. This is a tongue twister. Deadpool and Wolverine World War III. Try to say that shit fast. #1 kicks off a 3-part globe-spanning saga for the ages. And then you have the mysterious Delta believes in change. Change is good. But as he sets his sights on Deadpool and Wolverine, he's caught in the plot. And the third time really is the charm. Or the curse. But get ready for World War III to erupt on the scene with the wildest duo in comics from legends Joe Kelly and Adam Kubert. Meanwhile, Garth Ennis returns to Marvel for Get Fury #1 with Nick Fury and Frank Castle, as you've never seen. It's 1971. There's a war raging in Vietnam, and Nick Fury has been captured by the Viet Cong. At this moment, they don't quite understand that, what they have in their possession is a man who knows enough secrets to damage the United States beyond comprehension. The CIA, however, does realize this, and they can't risk their enemy getting those secrets. So they dispatch the most deadly man in the U.S. Army, Lieutenant Frank Castle. And I'm betting it's on some go kill Nick Fury type shit. Not to save him, but to kill him so he can't spill the beans. That'd be crazy. But yeah, I'm definitely looking for Get Fury #1 this month. And then of course in X-Men #34. The Krakoan age is nearly at an end, and what might be the final battle of the heroes of Krakoa. One last stop, the fall and rise come to their conclusion, and everything changes. And as the Krakoan age hurtles towards its conclusion, Tony Stark will fight side by side with Magneto and Jerry Duggan in Chris Lee's Invincible Iron Man #18, which he's been... Check it out. Well, here's a few. Here's a couple. This is Iron Man right now in the comics. These are all X-Men. That's Fall of X-Men. That's Iron Man with Forge. That's Iron Man. That's Fall of X right there. This is Iron Man with Emma Frost, who he ends up marrying. So Tony Stark and Emma Frost get married, or are getting married. I haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, it's crazy. But for years, the Master of Magnetism was Iron Man's greatest fear. For obvious reasons. But to take down Orcus, Tony's gonna have to work with his former, X-Men mutant adversary, and we'll fight against every Sentinel on Earth. And we'll see if even these two powerhouses can handle it. But then we've got Cable number 4. Time has run out. The neocracy is at your door. As the fate of the world hangs in the balance, Cable faces both a devastating betrayal and an impossible decision. Will he be able to stem the tides of neocracy, or will he and the rest of the Marvel Universe be subsumed? Don't miss out this explosive series finale. It's a 4-part miniseries. Cable, super good. And then, of course, join Bloodhunt. We've got Wolverine joining forces with Deadpool, witnessing the final battle of Krakoa, and then all the good shit with Cable. So, but yeah, there's a lot of new comics. You've got Bloodhunt, you've got Cable, you got Deadpool, you got Get Fury, Immortal Thor, Incredible Hulk's coming out, Iron Man, Power Pack number 5, Spider-Woman, Star Wars Phantom Menace, Vengeance of Moon Knight number 5, Weapon X-Men, which has been dope. Let me see this. This is good. Don't sleep on Weapon X-Men. This is dope. What else? Just X-Men number 34. You got Carnage Volume 1 trade paperback coming out. Bunch of new collections, bunch of trade paperbacks coming out. Marvel Unlimited's got a bunch of dope shit. Gods number 4, Immortal Thor, Black Panther number 1 and 2, Ultimate Black Panther rather 1 and 2 are being I think those must be reprints. But yeah, that's it for now for comics for the month of May. But yeah, guys, before we break down episode 7 and break down Bastion, his name is Bastion. Before we bust that up, Stu Dog, what's up? Stu on the way. All right. But yeah, man, before we watch the finale of episode of the X-Men 97, the showrunner that got fired, Bo DeMeo, gave us suggestions of episodes to rewatch before the finale, Tolerance is Extinction. And remember, the finale is a 3-part thing. It's 3 episodes. So the whole thing, it's 3 episodes. It's called Tolerance is Extinction 1, 2, and 3. And they'll be, over a 3-week period. They're doing one a week. But yeah, DeMeo's list includes key episodes from the original animated series with heavy focus on Magneto. And Bo does refrain from recommending specific comic issues to avoid spoiling upcoming surprises in the series. Because remember, the great thing about this show is this shit is taken from the comics. They're not making these stories up in some cartoon writer's room. These are stories adapted from comic stories. So yeah, they could give away shit by reading the comics, but most people, aren't reading comics these days. But DeMeo and Brad Weinerbaum share how the original series inspired them and impacted the fans worldwide. But shortly after the 7th episode of the series, the creator, Bo, checked in on Twitter to assign some homework ahead of this week's start of the 3-episode season finale, Tolerance is Extinction. And he suggested that fans might want to rewatch season 4, episodes 9 and 10 of the original animated series. One man's worth. Stu Dog, what up, broski? I'm just going over the episodes of X-Men the Animated Series that the X-Men 97 showrunner recommends we should watch before the finale.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A recommendation. Okay, all right, I get it.
Because the finale, of this show is a 3-parter. So it's going to be 3 episodes long. The finale episode is actually 3 episodes. It's going to be called Tolerance is Extinction Part 1, Tolerance is Extinction Part 2, and Tolerance is Extinction Part 3. And
So which one of the comics does it follow?
well, if
Because
you
we
want
know
to get
X-Men. Yeah, we know X-Men, the cartoon, or X-Men 97 now we call it. It literally followed the comics like pretty much exactly.
yeah, right,
Um,
that's what we were just saying.
yeah,
And
yeah. So what stories? I mean, well,
well, he doesn't so he doesn't
you the resident X-Men archivist. So
yeah,
yeah. So
it's
what stories does it follow? Like what storyline? I know Phoenix is. I know they did do the Phoenix saga in the original one,
yeah. Yeah, they did that. They
and
did Days of Future Past, all that stuff.
Days
But
of
get
Future
your pens out.
Past.
Get your pen and paper
Now
out,
for this
everybody.
one,
Write these
but for
down.
this
I'm
one
gonna
that
give
they're
you the list.
doing, but for this one that they're doing now, Reno, what what storyline are we on?
Yeah. So get your pens and papers out, y'all. I'm gonna give you the list, and cause yeah, you're gonna write these down because I want you to go check these out. It's a little homework we're giving you, but it's not. It's fun. It's good shit. So yeah. So season 4, episodes 9 and 10 of the original animated series. It's called One Man's Worth, Part 11, and Part 1 and 2. Part 1, sorry, without giving too much away, let's just say there's a lot of time travel-y stuff in play that resulted from a time travel assassination of Xavier back in 1959. Earlier today, I was looking at the list, and the list I had to update it with season 4 episodes 3 and 4, Sanctuary Part 1 and 2. Gotta throw those in there. Season 5 episode 4, Descent, and season 1 episode 13, The Final Decision. Without spoilers, let's just say that they involve a lot more Magneto goodness and dopeness for you guys, and all kinds of good shit. Lots of good shit. But yeah, way back in October 2022, the guy that made the show, Bo DeMayo, head of streaming and television animation for Marvel Studios, Brad Wenderbaum, they shared their feelings on the impact that the animated series had during an interview with Marvel.com in honor of 30th anniversary of X-Men, the animated series. And what he said, DeMayo said, you cannot overstate what the Lualds and Larry Houston did with X-Men, the animated series 30 years ago. This underdog cartoon did in real life what Professor X's students did in the comics. Saved people. I've always said I owe my life to the show, and many on X-Men 97 feel the same. The show just went there. It didn't care it didn't care that it was a cartoon. It knew that we all know what it feels like to be an outsider, to feel misunderstood, or to feel like we don't belong. But X-Men the animated series showed us that how anyone can use empathy, grace, and teamwork to build a family that can withstand whatever the world throws at them. And 30 years later, its a message of hope remains as relevant as ever. Yes. And then Wunderbaum added, as a kid, X-Men the animated series was my gateway into comics, and now as a producer, it's amazing just to see how influential the show was. It's by far the most referenced touchstone for filmmakers, writers, and directors who come to work at Marvel Studios. And then yeah, he fielded a bunch of questions, and it was a little interview and shit. But DeMayo, I think, being a true fan of the show, of the original show, and of course of X-Men, really shows through in this one. And I feel you, Slade. Yeah, man, that's real, dog.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, yo, Raw Talk, what up?
What up?
Yeah, what up?
Now, the episode with Nimrod. Oh yeah, bro, I'm a fan of Nimrod too, Slade. I think Nimrod is dope. Your whole shell, baby's wicked like Nimrod. Hey, what you know about that?
It's that ghost.
Yes, sir. But Yeah, he was referencing Nimrod. But speaking of Nimrod, yes, we're gonna talk about Nimrod. We're gonna talk about the Sentinel, the Super Sentinel Bastion, that is the villain of the X-Men 97 show right now. And that's what they kind of broke down in this latest episode that we're gonna break down right now. And then we're gonna break down Bastion, because Bastion, you got to know who this guy is, and like why I was so excited that he is in the show. Because I first read him in Messiah Complex, and that's a 666 story with Cable and Bishop and them, and Apocalypse, everybody. It's super dope. But yeah, the episode also included Captain America, a little cameo that I think a lot of people took the wrong way, or at least I think took too seriously. There was some backlash and everything. We'll get into that, but yeah, Rogue goes rogue. She basically yeah, including there's a big bad who I think is worse than Mr. Sinister in this episode, and yeah, we got a lot of Easter eggs. We're gonna break it down. It's called Bright Eyes, and the episode opens with Gambit's funeral, and like, yeah, and Nightcrawler is there, doing the eulogy, and it's raining and everybody's crying, and it's a very touching scene. It's really good, really well done. You got Wolverine, Morph, Jubilee, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast. Everybody's there. Rogue is not there. Jubilee is pissed that Rogue is not there. She makes a point of pointing that out. She's like, "Where the fuck is Rogue? Gambit was her guy. How the fuck is she not here?" Blah blah blah. And Wolverine's like, grief is a lonely war. Everybody handles grief. Some people handle it dolo, but Nightcrawler says that Rogue is not just battling grief. After what they saw in Genosha, Jubilee should be afraid of what Rogue is out there doing.
She ain't playing either.
Nah, she's attacking military bases, going nuts. She actually attacked the military base known for imprisoning mutants, the military base known for imprisoning the Hulk. She goes at it with Thaddeus. But yeah, during the fight, she not only does the superhero landing pose, but she also does an anime kick, like a fucking scissor kick. It's dope. But old school fans will recognize this as her character moves in the 1990, as her character moves in the X-Men versus Marvel vs. Capcom 2, X-Men versus Street Fighter. They did her moves from the game, is what it is. So that's really, really dope. Little Easter egg there. But yeah, all the soldiers are there watching, and Rogue's just tossing tanks around and crushing shit. And General Thaddeus Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, who we'll see as Red Hulk here soon in the MCU, does not seem concerned at all. He's just like, whatever. And they are standing in a place built to hold the Hulk. He's like, this is the thing that holds the Hulk. Like, you don't have to worry. We're safe in here. And of course, Rogue just sort of peels it open like a fucking sardine can, and rolls in there, because Rogue is not a game. Rogue has she's powerful as fucking Captain Marvel.
She is it, and the reason why is because she stole Captain Marvel's powers.
Right.
So that's the reason why. But she is powerful.
Yep.
Not as she didn't get it all from what I read in the comics, but she got a good piece of it that it stayed in her.
Yeah.
So she has the flight and the strength, but she doesn't have she can't shoot like the rays from
beams and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, she can't shoot. Yeah, she can't do none of that. But she did get the strength and the flight.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have that.
Yep. And then we see Cyclops doing his diplomat thing, talking to the president. He's there trying to, and President Kelly has done, he's supported mutants in some aspects. I mean, he's definitely tried to be supportive, but he's still, he still is what he is. And, he's Scott is trying to get the president to help more in the mutants in Genosha, and he mentions that Val Cooper is still missing, and the president tells him that he can't be seen giving special treatments to mutants, and he also tells Cyclops that people are afraid that this attack triggered a war, that this attack is set off a war between humans and mutants, which it didn't in any way, but that's what humans, immediately thought. They saw Genosha being attacked and mutants being slaughtered, and they thought, okay, this is the start of the war between mutants and humans, and the team lands in Genosha to help with the cleanup, and you've got Roberto is there joining. Beast quotes Mr. Rogers, look for the helpers. Beast goes to the medical tent, and he speaks with Amelia Vogt, and she is a nurse with the ability to turn matter into vapor. You got Trish Tilby arrives on to report what happens in Genosha, and sort of goes back and forth. And Beast is like, he basically sees through her and shit. He's like, you're just here to exploit us and shit. And then Rogue, then we get Rogue and Captain America. Rogue flies into this cabin, to this wooden cabin, log cabin out in the mountains. And we see a motorcycle outside that we know is Captain America. Steve Rogers is there, and he tells her to stand down, Rogue. And, Cap is also trying to use Gyrick to get his hands on Trask. And he tells her that Gyrick was transferred out of Rikers by someone in the UN because Rogue is there looking for this guy Gyrick, and and then OZT is on the monitors, which Operation Zero Tolerance is a program headed up by the government and the sinister Bastion, with plans to eliminate all mutants. And Cap has learned that Gyrick was transferred to a facility in Mexico. Rogue wants to go down there and wants Cap to come with her, but Cap has to wait for the go ahead. And she's like, I think, and then a lot of people on Twitter, were like, oh, Cap's he wouldn't do that, and he's always down for the mutants. And it's like, nah, mutants and Avengers have fought a few times, and Cap, he's a human, he's not gonna go for people oppressing and abusing people, but at the same time, he's not gonna go down to Mexico wearing an American flag, go to another country wearing an American flag and start war and shit. So he can't do that. So I didn't feel that he was betraying the mutants at that point. I just felt that he, his hands were kind of tied at that point.
Mm-hmm. He had directives, and he had to follow them.
I mean, he is, he has made comments that he's not down for he's not beholden to the government. He's, during Civil War, he was not on the side of the government. He's always been, I'm an American. I'm here for the American dream, not the American government. He's always made that distinction. Like, I'm with the people, I'm with the American people, not the American government. But here and in a lot of situations, we see that he does work with the American government, depending on the comic, I think, depending on the writer, I think, depending on the situation. Cap definitely, he rides with America, of course, but he's Captain America. But anyway, back on Genosha, Roberto and Jubilee are talking about the fight and the threat of war, and how Roberto still hasn't told his family that he's a mutant. And the mutants have set up a memorial near the fallen heads of Xavier and Magneto statues, and there's a memorial there, and a picture of Leech and Castillo. And Rogue gets to Mexico, and Gyrick is waiting for her. And he tells her that he doesn't know where Trask is and what is coming. None of them will be able to face it. And Rogue uses her powers to see his memories. And Cyclops and June are working to clear the rubble out, and she senses another telepath, and someone has arrived, and it's Emma Frost. And Emma Frost is found in the rubble, and she's been, she's Diamond, right? She, how she can turn into Diamond, like Diamond Hard mutation. She becomes, her skin becomes diamond, and it's unbreakable. But apparently, in this iteration, she's never done it yet, and they're like, "Oh shit, she's got a new power." And her diamond mutation protects her from being crushed by the buildings. And Cyclops is sad that it wasn't Madeline Pryor. But Morph calls them back to the ship. Trask is on the comms. He tells them that Mr. Sinister is the one behind the attack, and he claims that he didn't know helping Sinister would lead to a mutant massacre, and they don't believe him. And Trask invites them to come to the UN, to the Peace Legion in Madripoor. Madripoor, yes, the one, you've seen Madripoor in Falcon and Winter Soldier and MCU and stuff like that, but it's been mentioned in Moon Knight. It's big in the X-Men, and Patch is there a lot. But yeah, he wants to see them. He wants to see, the horrifying face of their future. And then Roberto and Jubilee go to visit his mother. And she knew he was a mutant the whole time and was waiting for him to tell her. And she doesn't seem to care that he's actually a mutant, but she's concerned about their company and wants him to be discreet about being a mutant, doesn't want anyone to know. And of course, that's, found it to be offensive. But then Nightcrawler finds Rogue, and Bastion kills Gyrick. And who is Bastion? So the X-Men arrive in Madripoor. Trask cleared the way for them using sleeping gas. And inside the facility, robots are being made. A man is heard saying, "Asimov's law be damned." Isaac Asimov had the 3 laws of robotics. A robot may not injure a human being, though through inaction, or allow a human being to come to harm. We saw this in iRobot, something like that. But Rogue is also there. She tells them that the soldiers are wearing the same outfits as the ones guarding Gyrick, the OZT. And so Morph sees Trask, calls him the poor man's Oppenheimer, and they realize that Sinister is building a new type of Sentinel, way worse than anything they've seen in Genosha. And Rogue kills Trask, or at least seems to, and Trask does survive the fall off the building thanks to the same techno-organic virus that Sinister infected baby Cable with. And then he's turned into a human Sentinel, and Prime Sentinel protocol activated. They battle with Prime Bolivar, but they're easily defeated. Cable shows up to rescue them. Jean realizes it's Nathan. He warns them that Sinister is working for someone worse and that they need to stop him, and that someone is Bastion. And being worse than Mr. Sinister is heavy, because Sinister's an evil fuck. But outside, you can spot Stark Industries. You see Hammer Industries, Roxxon on the buildings, and Roberto DaCosta, the mutant there. His family's out there. It says DaCosta. And Sinister and Bastion are watching a feed from the Shi'ar, which we saw in the previous episode about Xavier marrying Lilandra and the whole thing, and that Xavier is actually alive. And they think that the X-Men knew this and that they've been lying. And of course, Bastion has Magneto. And we find out Magneto's alive. So big spoiler alert. Yes, Magneto is alive. Big surprise. I knew he was. But yeah, that's episode 7 in a nutshell. But yes, we got to talk about Bastion, because he's an underrated character. He's a dope character. And yeah, if you're a fan of Nimrod, if you're a fan of the Sentinels and the sci-fi aspect of all this stuff, Bastion is one of the dopest parts of it. So I am talking about something. Oh, he said I owe my life to the show as well. Talking about this show. Oh, he's talking about this show. Oh, okay. Word is bond. Word up. Or Captain America Us is not about oppression, especially after fighting in World War II. Indeed. So yeah, man. Bastion, bro. Bastion is a supervillain and he's created by Scott Lobdell and Pascal Ferry. First made his appearance in X-Men number 52 back in 1996, but his first full appearance was in the Uncanny X-Men number 333 in June of 1996. But yeah, he's his name is Sebastian. It was Sebastian Gilberti from Earth 616, the original Bastion. I'm talking about the 616 version. He's a mutant hating machine that emerged from the chaos of battle, a fusion of Nimrod and Master Mold, following a fight with the X-Men. So Nimrod, Master Mold, through the mystical energy of the Siege Perilous, he was reborn in a human-looking body. A peculiar cybernetic hybrid with no memory of his past, and he was taken in by the compassionate Rose Gilberti, taking in the name Sebastian Gilberti. However, his path does diverge towards anti-mutant sentiments, and he aligns himself with groups like Graydon's Creeds and Friends of Humanity. But his evolution escalated with the inception of Operation Zero Tolerance, OZT. And that's what we see going on here, where his purpose crystallized into a crusade against mutants. Bastion organized the clandestine transformation of humans into prime sentinels. Now, aiming, that was to, more just, trying to eradicate mutants. But he orchestrated the capture of, a lot of mutants, even targeted the Xavier Institute. Delved into Professor X's secrets. Despite initial successes, Bastion's ambitions were curtailed by the invention of the X-Men and governmental shutdowns. But as far as his powers and all of that, he's well, first let's go about his origin. While he was in government custody, more mysteries surrounding Bastion were discovered, but before a further investigation could be made, he managed to escape and return to the home of his mother figure, Rose Gilberti. But after the authorities accidentally kill Rose, Bastion flies into a rage and returns to the former OZT facility, where he finds Cable fighting Machine Man, who had sort of lost his touch with humanity. And Bastion makes contact with the Master Mold unit that had created the Prime Sentinels, drained it of its energy, and transformed into a Nimrod unit. This transition allowed Bastion's memories to be unblocked, and that, revealed that he had not been born human at all, and that he started, life as two separate beings, the Sentinel Master Mold and the highly advanced Sentinel Nimrod from an alternate future. And then he was posing as a human construction worker. Nimrod unearthed the module from Master Mold. As soon as Nimrod made physical contact with the module, Master Mold's programming began to co-opt Nimrod's programming. Shortly after, during a conflict with the X-Men, and the two of them, along with X-Men Rogue, were blasted through the Siege Perilous, which is a mystical crystal capable of judging any who pass through it and reincarnating them into new life, right? Commensurate in quality with their previous life. And the Siege Perilous was responsible for merging Nimrod and Master Mold into a single being with no memory of his past. And Bastion was eventually found by Rose, who took him in, taught him human kindness. But unbeknownst to him, when Bastion began to hear about America's mutant problem, his mutant termination directives, because he was, a Sentinel, reactivated. And he leaves Rose and goes out, to seek out the mutant critic, Graydon Creed, and his Friends of Humanity. After regaining his identity as a Sentinel, Bastion attempts to lead another crusade against mutants by turning Machine Man into a Sentinel Supreme, but Machine Man and Cable were able to defeat him, and he was returned to government custody, only to be beheaded after later by Apocalypse's horseman, Death. But yeah, it just depends. He's been in different. Bastion's been in Template. He's been in X-Force. He's been in Second Coming, which is where I read him. He's been in X-Men Blue. and he's been in a bunch of video games too. Bastion's been in X-Men: The Next Dimension, but he's now in X-Men 97. And yeah, he's a dope looking character, and like, you know,
Mm.
dude can pretty much do anything. You know what I'm saying? He can just form into anything and do whatever the fuck he wants. He's got telepathic probes abilities. He can adapt to whatever. He can form into any technological thing. He can turn other people into prime sentinels. He can control other sentinels, manipulate any form of energy, teleport. I mean, dude's like a god. Chronokinesis. He can time travel, bro. He superhuman strength and durability. Obviously, he can fly and all that shit. So he's definitely not to be fucked with. Not to be fucked with whatsoever.
Mm.
All right. Hang on, y'all.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. So what's been going on, Stu?
Nothing much, man. I've been
Traveling the world, I see.
My
I
bad.
gotta do
Yeah. What's up with Brazil? Tell us about it.
Brazil.
Brazil.
it's another country, man.
Is it
Just like ours, man. Yeah, just like ours.
another country?
It's closer to the equator, so it's like it's nice there all year round. Like today, it's just nice there. It never goes below, I'll say maybe 70 something degrees. And
Mm.
the sun, because it's so close to the equator, the sun sets every day at 5:30, no matter what. No matter what time of year it is,
No matter
no
what
matter what,
season.
no matter what season, the sun sets at
Wow.
about 5:30, 5:40 every day.
Dope.
And but it's a nice country, man. You get a chance, go visit. Um, say I wouldn't say third world. I'll say second world.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because yeah, their infrastructures, they have a decent infrastructure, so they're more like a second world country than a third world. But
Mm.
just a relaxing vacation, man. I had went once before, so I just went back. 'Cause my visa's going to expire, and you know, I don't know. I might go back one more time, maybe. I don't know. We gotta see. But
Mm.
it's no big deal, man. But I was supposed to go before the pandemic, never went. Just went this time. That's all.
Mm. Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
about taking a wife somewhere. So other than going to our usual spot, you know.
But we on the East Coast, so we usually go to Jamaica, the Bahamas. But you can't. Jamaica is really. They tell you don't go to Jamaica now. You
Mm.
can't go there.
Go to St. Lucia instead.
Hell yeah.
It's beautiful there, man.
Yeah, I've been to St. Lucia.
St.
I've been
Lucia's
to
tight.
St. I've been to St. Lucia, St. Thomas. I've been to all them joints.
So this right here, y'all, this shit is the shit. This is what I'm talking about. These are collected issues. This is the best Bastion content. This right here is, and this is my favorite, like, X-Men probably story right here. It's Cable, Bishop, Future Shit, Apocalypse, all my favorite characters, Strife. I mean, everybody's in this shit. It's called the Messiah Complex. It includes X-Men number 492, 494, X-Men number 205 to 207, new X-Men number 44 to 46, X Factor 25 to 27. And yeah, guys like Ed Brubaker in here, man. Like it's extra sick, and of course the art. You know how I care about the art. This is like next level shit. That's Sinister right there. Let me show you back. Oh, look at that. Look at that shot. The art's crazy. Cable and Hope.
Mm.
So the story's about Cable, and that's the baby right there, baby Hope. And she's the last hope of mutant kind. It says, in the aftermath of House of M, decimation and endangered species, the future of mutants has never been bleaker. At the seeming end of their evolutionary cycle, a miracle arrives in the form of the first mutant birth since the tragic events of M Day, when the Scarlet Witch obliterated the X gene from virtually every mutant on the planet. But it's from this source of hope comes a comic clash between mutants who will control the child's fate. It is the battle in which every mutant on the planet has a stake, and the fight is on. The combined effort of several Marvel's top creators, X-Men Messiah Complex, mines the rich tapestry of the X-Men universe for a dizzying thrill ride of suspense that will set a new course for the future of mutant kind. It's followed by the Second Coming, which is X-Men Second Coming 1 and 2, Uncanny X-Men number 523 to 525, New Mutants 12 to 14, X-Men Legacy 235 to 237, and X-Force 26 to 28. Mutant population is down to a mere 181 who carry the X gene, hardly enough to sustain the race. More than a year, no new mutants were born until Hope came along. She was the first mutant born, a mutant baby girl. She was sent into the future for safekeeping under the watchful eye of the mutant soldier Cable. But now Cable and Hope have returned. Hope is viewed by many to be the mutant messiah, the one who will lead the race into a peaceful and prosperous future. However, the Human League is bent on eradicating the last 181 mutants left on Earth so mutant kind can evolve. Led by Bastion, a highly evolved mutant hunting Sentinel robot, the Human League sees the death of Hope as the final nail in the mutant's coffin. The future of the entire race rests on Hope's shoulders. Will this be the end of mutant kind or its second coming? So Bastion is definitely the main villain in this story. There he is right there with all kinds of wires and shit.
Bastion look dope,
bro. He's super dope. Oh no, that was Gyrick, bro. Bastion, let me show you Bastion. Hold on, this cat right here, bro. Ooh. I think that's dude, the artwork is just crazy. That's Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
The art in this series is nuts. I mean, it's some of the best art I think in Marvel Comics. Definitely some of the best art in X-Men. That's one of the reasons I picked it up. One of the reasons I got into it in the first place, because
of art.
Yeah, I'm an artist. I love art. That's one of the, I think, most important things about a comic is the art. I don't think you can just have a comic with shitty art. You might as well be a book. If the art's shitty, the comic is shitty to me. Like, I honestly, it might be a good story and all that, but I'm not going to be like, oh, this comic is the shit if it's just a good story with shit art. That's half a comic to me. It's half a comic. But anyway, you've got yeah, and then it sort of rounds off with this smaller one here, Second Coming. As the mutant population dwindles to a mere 181, the Masonic girl Hope returns from the future, carrying with her the hope of repopulating the mutant race. But Bastion, a highly evolved mutant hunting Sentinel robot, lies in wait. He's acquired an alien virus that allows him to reanimate and control some of the X-Men's deadliest enemies, including Bolivar Trask, the creator of the Sentinels himself. And Bastion has ordered Trask to kill the mutant detective, the mutant detective team X Factor. Meanwhile, the X-Men known as Magic has been cast into limbo. Cannonball assembles the emergency rescue squad to get her back home and out of the clutches of the arch demon Nastrith. But the Nastrith bargains with the X-Men known as Pixie for the return of her soul, while Pixie and Magic's were sent to the... anyway, this shit gets super like fantasy. This shit gets super like about like magic and the realm, the nether realm, and all that, demons and stuff like that. Whereas the rest of it, the other comics are more the other two books are more sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, dystopian, time travel type shit, and then it goes into the more demons and shit. But right here, dog, if you want some good mutant reading, you get these and you'll be fucking happy, bro. These are my three, probably my favorite mutant shits, and it's all about Bastion, and that's why I was super excited when we found out Bastion was in this show, because he's a really dope character, and really cool looking too. Very, very powerful bad guy. Oh, speaking of the Astro Viper, that the HMS with the red Techno Viper is on the way.
Really?
Yeah, you know, the missile system, heat-seeking missile system. Yeah.
Man, that was dope when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Bastion, you know, in a nutshell, he debuted as a mystery lingering around the edges of the X-Men's world. It wasn't really, he was just like how they do in the show. It's not like he just arrives on the scene, I'm Bastion. No, it's like he's what they're like, what is this? You know, they don't know who's pulling the strings, like they don't know who it is and shit, and it's like mysterious. And you know, just as the darkest aspects of Professor X and Magneto evolved into Onslaught, because remember, Onslaught is made of Professor X and Magneto's minds, and began attacking the Marvel universe. Bastion sort of comes around and he's the combination of two big powerhouses too. But you know, his true origin definitely was not told at first. I mean, that was something that came about later, but he's definitely was revealed to be a fusion of Master Mold and Nimrod, after he's taken in by this woman that sort of teaches him humanity, that sort of makes him into like a human, and then he can sort of mingle, and then he meets people, and then that's how he gets into the the anti-mutant OZT, Operation Zero Tolerance. And in the crossover, Bastion enacted his plans to capture and eradicate as many mutants as possible with government approval, on the government side, not as a supervillain, but as like a government agent. And after the Fantastic Four and most of the Avengers disappeared fighting Onslaught, and the mutant-hating politician Graydon Creed was assassinated, Bastion was able to use the surge in mutant hate to launch Operation Zero Tolerance in X-Men number 65 back in 1991. But the key to Bastion's plot was the Prime Sentinels, who were regular humans that he transformed into formidable sleeper cell, sleeper agent Sentinels, and using nanotechnology. Most notably, Bastion turned Karina Shapendar into the Omega Sentinel, a particularly powerful Prime Sentinel who later joined the X-Men before playing a significant role in the anti-mutant group Orchis. With Professor X already in custody after the Onslaught thing, Bastion captures Jubilee and unsuccessfully tried to get her to give up information on the X-Men. Then Bastion and his Prime Sentinels attacked the X-Men directly and captured, several critical members of the team, like Cyclops, who had a bomb planted in his chest. And despite the best efforts of Cable and Caliban, Bastion, also took over the X-Mansion and seized its considerable files on mutants and had, all the inside shit. And then, Operation Zero Tolerance, kind of meets opposition from an unlikely source, namely J. Jonah Jameson of the Daily Bugle. He investigates Bastion, who killed one of the reporters researching him. And then after some time away from the X-Men, Iceman comes back and confronts Bastion with the shield generating Dr. Cecilia Reyes and Marrow, which is a militant former member of the Morlocks. But then after, the reformed anti-mutant politician, Senator Robert Kennedy, the president convinced the government to pull support for Operation Zero Tolerance. S.H.I.E.L.D. Came and stopped Bastion, who surrendered peacefully in X-Men number 69, also in 1991. But after all that, after Zero Tolerance ultimately failed, Bastion remained a looming threat to the X-Men's world. After escaping S.H.I.E.L.D., Bastion watched agents gun down Rose, the woman that took him in, and then he tried to turn X-51, the Machine Man, into the ultimate Sentinel, using the remains of Master Mold in the Cable Machine Man Annual #1 in 1998. But Cable then teamed up with Machine Man and stopped Bastion. But during the era when Wolverine was brainwashed into being one of Apocalypse's horsemen, Death, he destroys Bastion's body, leaving him as just a cybernetic head. And then Bastion's head briefly falls into the custody of Mainspring, which is a cyborg who studied the techno-organic alien phalanx and their transmode virus. After being infected by the techno-organic virus, Bastion briefly transformed into Template. He was ultimately defeated by the former New Mutants Warlock and Wolfsbane when he tried to summon an alien invasion force. Bastion's head fell back into government custody, where he used fake holographic simulations to mislead a small group of X-Men looking to recover the X-Mansion's files by seemingly revealing the teammates' secrets. Then, in the Human Council and everything, when after gathering dust in government custody, the head, Bastion returns and begins to a new effort to exterminate all mutants in X-Force #1 back in 2008. The Purifiers, a mutant-hating group inspired by William Stryker, recovered Bastion's head and connected it to Nimrod's body. Now, with Nimrod's body, Bastion developed several new abilities, including the power to change his appearance, also teleport, and time travel. So he's pretty much a god. And after taking charge of the Purifiers, he used them to recover a sample of the Phalanx alien and the transmode virus. And then, believing that no one alive could stop mutants, Bastion used the techno-organic virus to resurrect several well-known mutant killers to follow him as the Human Council in X-Force #3. This group of resurrected human and cyborg villains included the anti-mutant ideologies of William Stryker, Graydon Creed, and the Leper Queen, Cameron Hodge, Sentinel developers Bolivar Trask and Stephen Lang. All the names of all the mutant-hating, guys who have done shit, over the years, are now under Bastion's control, and under his orders, several mutants were captured and infected with a modified version of a mutant plague called the Legacy virus. To stoke anti-mutant sentiment, they plan to release these mutants into crowds of humans while their powers overacted and killed anyone around them, and thus making humans fear and hate mutants and cry out and blah, blah, blah. But then X-Force, saves a bunch of the mutants. The plan ultimately worked, though, after these mutant attacks killed over 1,000 people. And then in Second Coming, you have, most of the world's mutants already depowered after the House of M thing. Scarlet Witch does her whole thing and no more mutants. And that's the end of that. And then House of M, then Bastion carries out his most successful attack here in this one, when mutant kind is gathered on the island Utopia. And while they're chilling there on Utopia, Cable comes back with Hope Summers, which is the mutant messiah. and who was considered the key to jumpstarting the stagnant mutant population, because when Scarlet Witch said no more mutants, basically eradicating the mutant gene, no new mutants are being born either. So there's only 181 mutants left on Earth, and no more new mutants are being born. It's the end of the mutant race. It's all going to be over, and then Hope is born. Right, first mutant baby born since the whole thing, and that's why she's the mutant messiah. She doesn't really have any dope powers or anything really per se. She's not like hella powerful or anything. She's just the mutant messiah, but she does come into a lot of different she comes into play in a lot of different situations later. But yeah, she as part of their plan, the Human Council tries to kill or neutralize all the X-Men with teleportation abilities. So that no one can teleport. And Bastion personally kills Nightcrawler in X-Force number 26, which is in this one right here. And I think that was the picture that I showed y'all earlier where he kills Nightcrawler. Yo. Oh man, I lost it. I don't want to take up too much time looking for it. I had it, but it's gone. But yeah, it's in this one. It's X-Force number 26. But then once the X-Men and their allies are isolated on Utopia, Bastion activates the impenetrable energy dome around the island, and it also takes it covers San Francisco as well, and the Golden Gate Bridge. And there's this whole dope scene with the X-Men fighting all the guys that come through, and the portals in order to exterminate mutants permanently. Bastion opens a portal to Earth 811, and which is Nimrod's apocalyptic timeline. So it allows waves of Nimrod Sentinels to fly in the universe every 5 minutes. Fly into this dome every 5 minutes, and so the mutants have to kill these waves of Nimrods. And although X-Force successfully traveled to that alternate dimension and shut down the Nimrod-making master molds, Cable died, bringing the team back home. And enraged by Cable's death, Hope obliterated Bastion and his remaining allies in X-Force number 28. And yeah. But despite his apparent death, Bastion survived, and we saw a future where mutants were nearly eradicated by the Inhumans, Terrigen Mists, and which I hated, and I hate the Inhumans. I love Black Bolt. Black Bolt's one of my favorite characters. I hate Inhumans.
Yeah, I think everybody hates Inhumans.
But it is what it is. They tried something. They thought the X-Men weren't doing good, and they tried to do something to take their place, and just basically brought back popularity of X-Men. Everybody realized what they'd been missing. So it did help. It did. Yeah, the Inhumans were brought around to replace the X-Men, but what they did was bring the X-Men back. So that's dope. They did their job in a way. They helped the fact that the X-Men sales had plummeted. But yes, Bastion tried to recruit time-displaced versions of the original X-Men in X-Men Blue number 3, but the teenage mutants saw Bastion's true intentions and defeated him. But Bastion also formed an unlikely alliance with Emma Frost, a villainous Havoc, and Ms. Sinister, a female clone of Mr. Sinister in X-Men Blue number 23. But this group wanted to trigger a wave of new mutations with the Mother Vereen virus, a compound extracted from an alternate reality, Wolverine's son. When she realized that the Mother Vereen mutants would be under Sinister's control, Emma Frost, rejected the plan. But after Frost turned against the Cabal, Zorn unleashed the black hole in his head and seemingly killed Bastion. So with this black hole just sort of sprouting inside his head. Although Bastion may be gone, anti-mutant forces like Orcus and Omega Sentinel have kept his legacy alive, developing new Nimrod technology and pushing mutants to the edge of extinction. But here he is, man. He's back in X-Men 97, and I couldn't be more excited. He's a great character, has some great appearances and some great books. So if you seek out Bastion and his comics that he's in, you'll find some great comics in the meantime. Yeah.
Yo, is that a Skyhawk?
Yep.
Yes. I had like I had like 3 of them joints.
They got a classified Skyhawk 3D printed.
Yeah, but they got a company. They got a company. I forget it's called something, and they're making these.
Oh,
they're making these.
Wait, that's the party.
Serious?
Yeah.
It's the 3D printed.
No, it's not 3D. This is straight injection mold.
Oh,
third party toy maker.
Oh, okay.
They made third party Transformers. So now they go to the G.I. Joe thing.
I think I know who you're talking about because they make a third party Shockwave that's super dope. It's like almost it's the exact iteration of the cartoon version and the comic book version of Shockwave, and he transforms into a cannon, into a giant hand cannon.
Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be a laser, and then what's his name? Supposed to be a P. Walter P. something.
Megatron, Walther PPK.
Yeah, he's a Walther PPK. Yeah,
PPK. Yeah.
Walther.
Yep.
Walther PPK. James Bond is James Bond's gun. That's what James Bond used to do.
That's why I don't like that Robeson transforming Megatron, because I mean, yeah, he could turn into a tank, but I don't like that.
Well, wait. Because
fuck
on
tank,
Cybertron,
man. I want a pistol.
Wait. On Cybertron, that's what he turned into.
Fuck that though. The toy pistol, but the pistol is funner though.
Yeah, the pistol is a toy. Right, but the Cybertronian version of Megatron turned into a tank.
No, I get it.
Into a straight tank.
It definitely makes more sense to turn into a tank than a gun.
But here's the crazy part: Shockwave always turned into a cannon. It was just when they came out with different cartoons and things, they made him turn into different things. But he always turned into like a laser cannon. But he's actually he's actually his firepower is off the charts. There's only 3 Transformers I know of that I can remember that's their firepower is off the charts. That's Megatron, that's Optimus, and that's Shockwave. And I don't even think Optimus is off the charts. I think he's just a 10. I think he's just a 10. I think Megatron might be like a high 10.
I think Bumblebee is someone that you have to contend with though, because he's the illest warrior. He's the illest warrior out of all of the Autobots. Bumblebee.
Nah, no.
Yes, he is.
You wild.
Well. In Hollywood, yeah. In Hollywood, yes. But
in the comics,
but as far as the comics,
you don't get busy.
You got a few contenders. You got a few. He do, but you got a few contenders. Because you got to remember, you got Cup, you got Hot Rod, you got Stinger.
Yeah, but those guys, Cup, he's dope. But I'm saying, who's been there through all of the wars and save Optimus countless times. But
he didn't. But you know what? He didn't save him when it mattered most. Remember when Shockwave came to Earth and destroyed all the Autobots, knocked them all off. He knocked all of them off. Yeah. It was Ratchet that brought them all back. It was Ratchet that saved them all, and Wheeljack. It wasn't Bumblebee. He rocked Bumblebee. He rocked Megatron, all of them. He came to Earth and gave out work, like straight work. They had Optimus. Even Optimus ain't had nothing for him.
Yeah. This one joint is gonna be something to watch, I believe.
Yeah.
There's people that's going against it, like this is gonna be sucky. Man.
I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I just say enjoy it for what it is, and dudes who claim to be fans of the Transformers, you shouldn't be knocking it anyway. Like, be grateful you're getting that. You know what I'm saying? In a sense,
Yeah.
you know, be grateful that people are interested into bringing content like that out. You know what I mean? Because you could be stuck with Johnny Five still alive. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know? Come on. Even though that was dope back in the day, but still, you know.
That was the shit.
So Johnny Five was my John, man.
Oh yeah.
I like Johnny.
We talking, we dancing, we drink champagne.
Yeah, man. I just think like, even though people, I guess they do it for content or whatever on different channels and stuff like that. Yeah, you want to present an argument to something that really don't need an argument because it's a cartoon, it's a animation, it's meant to be enjoyed. Now, if they flat out turn Optimus evil to where he's the leader of the Decepticons, or they switch everything up, then yeah, you can bitch about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, why they?
It's just showing them like a prequel, right? It's just showing them when they were young.
Beginnings, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not even that. It's actually based off of
what they said in the Netflix.
Remember, right? It's actually based off of the Netflix show that we got, but it's before the war. Because you got to remember, Autobots and Decepticons were both were products of the Quintessons. They banded together and forced the Quintessons off of Cybertron. But then they turned on each other and started fighting each other for dominance over Cybertron when they should have. Right. That was the saddest part. Right. That was the saddest part of it, was that they banded together to fight the Quintessons and get them off the planet.
Oh, this is the Quintesson war.
But to turn around and to fight each other, that's why they had the saying "till all are one," because at one point they all got along and there were no Autobots, there were no Decepticons, they were just all Transformers. They just
that's why the movie's called One.
Yeah. So it's either that or because it's before the war, the Cybertronian. The Cybertronian war devastated the planet. Like it took their resources, you know, and they were out, because you got to remember, Cybertron doesn't orbit a star. It doesn't orbit any star or anything like that. So they don't have no sun or anything like that. Or they just got the 2 moons that they built, and they built those after the Quintessons left.
Yeah.
Or 3 moons.
Well, check this out.
People hate what they don't know, but it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. I just these days you gotta be open to it, you know.
Raw talk, you ain't see how I chromed out the bat.
What you
the bat, look.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Chromed out. Yeah, he's chromed out. Let me see if you can see.
Yeah, I can check him out. I see the glare. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, he's looking nifty for real. Nice.
Yep. I'm going
upgrading the paint apps.
I'm going ham with the chrome.
Bro, them chrome markers. Listen,
right?
Yeah, it makes it look more incredible, man. Like
it makes
chrome with the way it's chrome, it makes it look better.
Like more official. They look more like they worth more money. Yeah.
Got to keep these on deck.
Got to keep them on deck. Yeah, man. And I got a gold one too.
Yeah, but the gold one,
it's not as mirrory. It's more matte. I'm pissed off. I thought it was gonna be like a mirror, like the chrome. It's not, and that's why I'm not fucking with it really. Yeah, I agree, man.
Amazon? I might get.
You get my Amazon
chrome stuff out around here.
And what's crazy is that the fucking the box art on all the packaging shows like action figures and toys and models. Like that's what these markers are like marketed for.
Yep.
For picking up toys and shit. Oh,
I got
Zanzibar.
That's the Zanzibar.
Wait, let me see.
That's the air skip. That's the Zanzibar.
I haven't complete. I got Zanzibar.
Yeah, that's the air skip. Zanzibar was the character that came with it.
Mm-hmm.
But Now what? Now he's a dreadnought. Zanzibar was a dreadnought, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A pirate dreadnought.
Yeah, he was a pirate.
Pirate dreadnought.
Land pirate.
Pirate dreadnought.
Got all the dreadnought stuff.
Ooh.
I just don't have the exclusive shit, the Seer shit. And I got 2 Thunder Machines here. Nice. I just acquired an extra Thunder Machine from that trade deal I did. And I got a whole bunch of stuff. Y'all see I changed up my whole game. I got the General down there, the Rolling Thunder down there. Oh, I got more Pogos. I got the Spoiler. A whole bunch of stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
Gotta put things in proper order. I even got this. And this is the later version.
When does that come? When did that come out? That's got to be from the 90s.
I think 93.
Yeah. Okay.
He was coming with the weird colors.
But, I don't know shit about anything past 89.
This is complete. So.
Dope.
Yeah, man. So, stay on that O-ring journey, man. Got to, man. That's just what it is for me.
Absolutely, dog. I mean, that's your thing, and that's
Yeah, but I seen a few stuff that's coming around the bin for classifieds, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh,
you like, damn.
It's about to be lovely. I mean, I was
the Rattler the other day. Yeah.
The HasLab is the next Rattler. Is going to be the next HasLab is going to be the Rattler.
I think the Rattler probably break my spirit, man.
Well, that's just got to be like 4 or 5 feet.
Yo, the wingspan is definitely going to be the size of a toddler. Oh, not even a toddler, a kindergartner.
Word.
Yeah, the kindergartner. Like, yo, go and come to the house. Your wife looking at you crazy, like, what the
4 foot tall motherfucker.
Yo. No, but I'm gonna stay steadfast. I mean, I'll live vicariously through you guys with the classified stuff. I enjoy seeing stuff, man.
Yeah, I got the missile. The HMS thing is on the way with the red Techno Viper. So
at some point, you're gonna have to go and get that his tank, man.
That's the thing. It might be something I'm just never gonna have, man, because I don't mind hooking the HMS up to the Stinger. Because that'll look dope too.
Yeah, that would definitely look dope.
Yeah, that would definitely be.
So, but the problem with the his tank is it's gonna be like $600 or something, $500-600 because it was how much was it?
Damn, are you serious, bro?
It was 300 to get it.
Right.
I've seen it online for like 425. They went down because a lot of people wasn't buying them. Like,
I'm not paying for that, dog. That's the problem with HasLab is they're not very resellable. Don't buy HasLab thinking you're gonna fucking flip it, dog, because you're not gonna.
Because also, if you really look at that his tank, not to throw shit on Hasbro, but it's not in true scale.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that too.
Matching up with the figure, it's not in true scale. So,
right.
They skimmed a little.
Yeah, it should have been a little bigger. That's what I'm saying. For the Rattler to be of scale, it's gonna have to be like from nose to tail. It's gonna have to be like 4 feet, 4 or 5 feet down there.
To fit one of those figures in there, you think it'll be that big?
Well, the cockpit's got to be this big, and if you look at another as a small Rattler, let's say the cockpit's got to be about that big. Yeah, because if you look at a small Rattler,
you gotta get 2 people in there. Yeah, you gotta get 2 people in there. Because don't forget the gunner in the back.
Remember the gun
in the back. Yeah, remember they got the gunner in the back of that joint.
Well, Rothar got the Rattler.
Yeah, I got the Rattler, right?
Rattler.
Aliens jumping on the Rattler.
Yeah, it would have to be fucking huge.
Yeah. See, remember the gunner in the back right there? That's where the second person went.
So it's one guy in the front, one gun in the back. The cockpit's pretty small, but I mean, you compare that to the Dragonfly. How long is it compared to the Dragonfly? It is pretty small.
Yeah.
It looks like it's about the same length.
Weird, because you would think
A jet.
helicopter would be
Nah,
smaller.
it's gotta
Yeah.
it's
than a
gotta be
plane.
big. Yeah.
Right.
They were tripping with the scales.
Yeah. The scale of that jet is very small. It would not be that small.
Yeah, it would not.
Well, compared to the figure, compared to the figure, it's
No,
almost
I
on
think
point.
even with the figure,
even it's a little
You
bit
think so? Let me
small.
see.
Yeah, it's a little bit
Too
small for
small?
the figure. I think so.
Well,
I think a real
listen,
jet is a little bigger than that, dog.
listen, maybe it was just budget cuts at the time. You know what I
But
mean?
a guy climbs up a ladder to get in real life.
In real life, they climb up ladders to get into their.
Now look how small he's just standing. Like his head's taller than the roof of that shit.
Like it's a Toyota Tercel or some shit.
Yeah. Is the dragonfly the same length, you think, from tail to nose?
No, it's longer.
Really?
It's longer than the dragonfly.
Oh, it's longer than dragonfly. Oh, okay.
Let me see. Let me just do this right quick, right while we here.
Yeah. I thought you were saying the dragonfly was longer, but yeah, it looks like it's about no shit. The dragonfly is longer.
Yeah, it's longer a little bit.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Ain't that a motherfucker? Yeah, so there you go. The dragonfly is coming out this September, so we'll have that September. So yeah, the Rattler's doable. It's shorter than the fucking dragonfly, damn near. So if they can do the dragonfly, they can do the Rattler, no problem.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you gotta remember the dragonfly. I mean, the Rattler it's a radical design for an aircraft, but it's Cobra. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be in the traditional sense of a fighter jet. It's something that would. That's why it has the gun on the back, the giant gun on the back, so it can turn, shoot behind it, things like that. So, so that the pilot can just focus on attack.
Cobra C Ray.
I can't. I just can't imagine just because as big as the classifiers are, that had to be kind of big, bro. The dragonfly is huge, but it look dope.
Yeah, with the dragonfly, we're getting 4 figures. We're getting Wild Bill, Glinda, Crazy Legs, and Airborne. Is it Airborne?
Night Force.
It's Night Force, Crazy Legs, and Night Force. I want to say Airborne.
No, it's not Airborne.
Did they come with the dragonfly or no?
Yeah, with the dragonfly.
Not come with it. It's the other one.
It is the other one. Who is it? Fucking there's Airborne, Crazy Legs.
Airborne, Crazy Legs. Wow.
Who else jumps out of the damn plane?
Hold on. Right here.
But yeah, the dragonfly comes with Wild Bill, the original pilot from the show, and then it comes with Glinda, which is a made up character based on Scarlet, like a blonde haired Scarlet, and then the 2 Night Force figures, Night Force Crazy Legs, and Night Force.
That character came out in '84, right? Yeah.
All you gotta do.
Yeah, Ripcord.
That's the one.
Yeah, he came out in '84.
Yeah, Ripcord, Night Force, Ripcord, Night Force, Crazy Legs, which is crazy. They got a whole bunch of Night Force shit planned. They got a Night Force Flint plan, and with Night Force Outback is coming. Yeah,
what is up with the Night Force? Night Force was alright. I didn't really mind Night Force. I just didn't like Tiger Force. I wasn't really big on Tiger Force.
Tiger Force was
they pushed that real
hard. But like Tiger Force and Python Patrol were a little bit silly. If you were into military shit, they didn't really work. I mean, you're not gonna run through the jungle with a bright green fucking,
Yeah.
But Night Force actually seemed realistic,
Yeah.
But yeah, as a kid, I mean, we all played with Tiger Force and shit. That shit was cool as a little kid. But when you look back at it now, it's kind of like, what the fuck?
Got the Tiger Force Dragonfly up there now. That came with
came
with Rakondo. That's why it was funny when they did Tiger Force Rakondo, and I'm like, where the fuck is the Dragonfly? Because it came with it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
if I was one of those out there that got 2 Dragonfly HasLabs, one of them is getting painted. I'm doing Tiger Force.
I would have thought if they
because they'll never do that.
Yeah,
they'll never do a Tiger Force Dragonfly. You know that because that's a HasLab.
But I always thought that they would have did like Ramen Toys did, offer you 2, You know what I'm saying? So you can either get one or the other or get both. That would have been a smarter thing. You just change the paint on this, and then the figures, you can add troop builders to the other one.
Yeah, or just Tiger Force versions. Yeah.
That'd have been the ill HasLab. You would have got 2 choppers, 6 figures, or 8 figures.
Mm-hmm.
No brainer.
People would have jumped on it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people bought 2.
It was $275.
It was 3. It was 300.
Well, 3 plus. Yeah, but
yeah.
Come on now, like 600.
Yeah.
And how much was the Sentinel?
That thing was like
600, right? Like close to that.
I thought, yeah.
Maybe, so it's like, I don't know.
It's crazy. Galactus.
And with the Dragonfly, they wouldn't have to change up. All they would have to change in production is the paint apps. That's it. Because you have the mold already.
Yeah, all they had to do is change the paint, put some decals.
Yeah, like they're doing everything now.
Right.
Like so.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. You know.
Well, at least recently, guys, the MCU has been experiencing, some bullshit, right? It's been ass lately, and with the most recent movie, The Marvels, ending its box office run as the franchise's lowest grossing film in history, while last year's TV show Secret Invasion was panned by critics and audiences alike, earned the low Rotten Tomatoes score in both categories. But I think everybody's wondering like what's making this happen, and everybody has their fucking ideas of why this is happening. A lot of people calling it superhero fatigue, which I think is a bullshit term. It's ridiculous. It doesn't exist. And of course, the quality of the MCU shows and films have hit a new low, and it does have something to do with I think something, I don't know, but the directors of the last Endgame. So I think the last good MCU movie, in my opinion, I know you like, but
sorry,
yeah, nah. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. Slade, I just looked at the chat. I'm like, wow, you going crazy.
Do you have the Mean Dog or the Night Blast? Oh, he's all type of G.I. Joe shit. Yeah,
I'm looking at every part of my room. Like, yeah, I got it all. Like
all that. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, but the directors of Endgame, they were just talking about this. That's why I'm bringing this up, because the Russo brothers told Games Radar Plus he thinks that Marvel's current issues all come down to audiences changing, which in turn is due to a transformation in how the world absorbs media now. And it's not just affecting the MCU in Hollywood. He said, I think it's a reflection of the current state of everything. It's difficult right now. It's an interesting time. I think we're in a transitional period, and people don't quite yet know how they're going to receive stories moving forward, or what kinds of stories they're going to want. I think, yeah, he's kind of saying what we always say, what we've been saying is that, and he's saying it without saying it. Like, yes, there is some cultural, social agenda here that is, changing the way that these stories are being told. And yeah, I thought it was interesting that industry guys, the guys, that are making that made Endgame, 2 of the bigger directors in the MCU are basically, I think they're agreeing with us without saying it directly. One of the brothers said, he said, there's a big generational divide about how you consume media. And when you say generational divide, the difference between the new generation, millennials, Gen X, you know what I mean? And he's saying it without saying it. And he said there's a generation that's used to appointment viewing and going to a theater on a certain date to see something, but it's aging out. Meanwhile, a new generation are, I want it now, I want to process it now, and then they're moving on to the new thing, which they process while doing two other things at the same time. It's a very different moment in time than it's ever been, and I also think everyone, including Marvel, is experiencing the same thing, this transition, and I think that is probably what's at play more than anything else. He's sort of putting it off on a technology thing, like saying the way some people just want to stream or something. He's really deflecting, but he hit it on the head when he said there's a generational divide, and that this is not anything about superhero fatigue. They think that's a bullshit term as well, and he did state that it's not just an issue that the film and TV industry are facing, but the world in general. And then highlighting that it's an incredibly difficult problem to address. And he said, we've never collectively, globally processed our conversation so intimately and quickly as we do now. He said, I think it creates problems where we overprocess and we don't care about context anymore. We communicate through memes and headlines with nobody reading past 2 sentences, so everything's 100 characters or less. And that kind of, you know what I'm saying? That kind of goes, not caring about context, not caring about story, not just caring about the buzz line, just caring about the message that it sends, or the vibe, or the caption, right? Or the meme of it. And he said 10-second videos on social media that you swipe through. He said, I think that the other 2-hour format, the structure that goes into making a movie, it's over a century old now, and everything always transitions. So there is something happening again, and that form is repetitive. But it's hard to reinvent that form, and I think the next generation is looking for ways to tell their own stories that service their own sort of collective ADHD. I think they are looking for ways to tell their own stories that service their own sort of social media standing. The likes or the points that they get for supporting or not supporting something popular or trendy.
Yeah, I think it's more so of just based on trend. What is the fly stuff for this week? What's what artist is behind this? Whatever, what I'm saying. It's become like we always say about the internet. It's like a microwave type of thing. You want it now. Once you get it, you got it. Now you don't want it. It's on to the next thing. It's a new dopamine. That's all it is. It's just to up your dopamine. So I think that when they're discussing generational, we had time when we looked at media, we had time to absorb it. Like movies, we had a whole year to absorb a movie. Once it went in the theaters and it went out, we had to wait a whole year before VHS.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't absorb it.
Right.
Even
and
with
the story mattered.
Yes,
the story mattered. The characters mattered. Not the fucking message of this one, real quick.
Yeah. Even though we had a lot of stuff with messages.
Yeah, the message was there.
Cleverly played.
Within a story, right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even with let's take Chuck Norris movie. Was it the Vietnam one? You can
Braddock? Braddock?
Yeah, you can do that. That had a
missing in action.
In action. That had a subject matter. That was under the action. You know what I'm saying? You even had it with
Rambo. You want to go there?
What's the shit? I got the movies in there. The one where they went over to Iran and stuff like that with the hijacking of the planes. What was it called? God damn! I watch it at least. Yeah,
Con Air.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. You talking about? I know exactly what you.
Delta Force.
Delta Force. There you go.
Delta
Delta
Force.
Force. Yes,
Delta
yes.
Force. So with Delta Force, you had what? The hijackings and stuff, the plane hijackings back in the
Mhm.
day where they had subject matter there. They even had during that, like the conflict between Arabs and Jews. I mean, they had everything in there.
Yeah.
But it was mostly action. You were intrigued by the story that
Right.
led you along.
Yeah.
Now they just do it so they can just say, hell, we want to make a point. We want to
Mhm.
make a point. No, won't you make a story? The point, you can make it within the story if you're clever enough to write it.
Yeah, but
These
you
guys
know,
are not clever enough. They're not. They're just
Yeah.
they're more concerned with the message not being taken the wrong way, or
Right.
people not being offended, or you know,
Right.
including
And you know what
certain
we went.
people that may not be the best person for the role, and vice, and things like that.
Right. And you know we went wrong with that, where Hollywood or just this new generation went wrong. You got certain movies you make a statement with, documentaries and things of that nature. That's why we have different genres. But when you want to entertain people, you got to throw all that out the window, and you got to strictly write your movie to entertain them. Like we always say, make characters that we're interested in and want to see how their story turns out. You ever watch a movie and then it ends and you like, dang, I wonder what happened after that, or you be like,
hell
yo, they
yeah.
should, yo, they probably went back to the village and then did this, that, and this.
Mhm.
That's what they're missing. They're trying to be too politically correct, too precise, too, too just on point, or too, we don't want to offend anybody, whatever. Listen, people are going to be offended no matter what. It doesn't matter. You can make the best movie in the world. Some people are going to be offended by it. You can make the worst movie in the world. Some people are going to be offended by it. Just like you can make the worst movie we ever saw, but there's one person out there, maybe two, that think it's the best movie they ever saw, and vice versa. We might
Right.
we might see the best movie and everybody agree on it, but it might be two people be like, man, I thought that was trash. Like I can't stand that movie. So
Mhm.
everybody's got an opinion. They're entitled to it. It's
Yeah.
just that Marvel and Disney used to be neutral. And when they stopped being neutral, that's when they started going downhill. They didn't care what anybody thought. They
But
didn't play to the agendas and all that.
also with Marvel, Disney's, and those corporations, they want to steer an audience so they can make money off them, basically off a product. Because remember, aside
Right.
from movies, the format is make a movie, especially
Merch.
if it's a superhero. Now we got merch. Now we can sell coffee mugs. We can sell everything. So if we guide them to like this and keep guiding them and keeping them brainwashed to this, we can milk all the money we can out of them for years to come. That's their mental. You know what I mean? Without
Mhm.
but they're doing it without any real solid skill set far as creating the organic way of building an audience.
Right.
They're not
Right.
doing that.
Was
They
it
want to
art?
artificially put that shit in, and oh, it's cool. No, it's not. They want to hire and buy views and buy influencers. Like I that shit bugged me the fuck out. Like when the internet and all that stuff, and then now they're talking about influencers. Who the fuck is an influencer? When I
Yeah.
first heard that term, influencer, nobody
That shit's
crazy
crazy.
shit. You know what I'm saying? That I don't want to do, but
That's crazy.
people got get paid
Uh,
to post cool. Oh, this
influencer.
is cool, and you following them. That's like us. If we were paid, we would say, "Hey, this action figure is great. It'll go with anything in your collection. It can be in McFarlane, it can be in GI Joe, it can be in Marvel Legends, and it
Now I'm an influencer.
now I'm an influencer because some people are like, oh, cool, I want to buy it. Where can I find it?
Yeah.
Now I'm an influencer. Now I'm a professional, huh? That shit makes sense to me. Like
Remember
Yeah.
we had that article we read that one time, and I forget what
Rolling Thunder is down there.
famous it was it Jim Lee? It was somebody, it was an artist. And he said that he had hired a bunch of millennials and Gen Zers to be artists for him. And when he told him what he wanted, he gave him the parameters, he told him what he wanted, how he wanted it done, and then he said, he just gave him free reign to do it. And he said when he came back to check on him, everything they did was totally wrong from what he asked for, and it was totally like way out there. And he was like, I had to fire every last one of them because that's not what I wanted. He said, I gave you a subject, I gave you a product, this is what we're so like if it was X-Men 97, this is what I want. These are the characters I want, draw them. And he said they just came up with some crazy. He said he had to fire every last one. I forget who it was, but we were talking about that then. We were like, damn, they couldn't even stay on. He was like, they couldn't even stay on subject for that. And he said, I gave him everything. All he had to do was just draw. And they just gave me everything I didn't want. And he said he fired the whole team on the spot. He said, I just fired the whole team.
Wow.
And
I can't remember who it was.
Then people make excuses, ADHD or ADD culture.
Oh my God.
That's an excuse for laziness and not being focused.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that shit is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when we were little, yeah, you know, we jumped around, running around. But once you got your ass whooped, you
settle your ass down.
Yeah, that's all you need. But now in this age, we got to talk them.
Well, we don't want to. We're more concerned with their happiness than anything else. We don't want to offend them. We don't want to hurt them. We want to be, you know,
make them softer.
Yeah, and it can.
As we progress, as each generation has less struggle, that humanity, that society gets softer until it gets so harsh that now they're so soft and bad things must happen. Now up comes the hardness. Now we get structured again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in a cycle. So we're going through the soft phase of life now. People not listening to what the old ways were. So now we're going to go through some hard times. Now, throughout those hard times, it gets better. Then we get back into hard times.
Another issue.
Everything now, movies, everything. We're in a shitty phase of Hollywood.
And another thing that's shitty about this phase is that we're currently facing is AI, with, you know, a lot of questions being asked about, you know, what role AI is going to play in these shits going forward. And news stories like Late Night with the Devil using AI to create some images for the film have attracted a lot of controversy. I haven't watched. It's called Late Night with the Devil. It's a crazy ass movie. It's crazy. But yeah, that's only one example in a long list. But the Russo brothers we're talking about AI as well, and the current use of it in Hollywood, and you know, what do they see the future of it being, and it's all about who exactly is using it. As he explained, he said, we're always afraid of change, but we always end up on the other side of it, and you can't stop AI. It's here and it's moving at a pace of weeks, not months or years. When we're at the festival last year and we had a conversation about AI, it was somewhat controversial, but there were no real stories about Chat GPT, etc. at the time, and no Sora. So it's going to move exponentially fast. The trick is, and the most important part of it is getting in front of it, not being afraid of it, understanding it, and controlling it. Because if we lose control of the narrative, there are corporate entities who are going to be less concerned with the artist's role in the future of media than artists standing up for themselves and protecting themselves. I think that's the most important line in the sand to draw. Let's keep humans who control this stuff moving forward. And agreeing with his brother, Anthony Russo then adds that he sees it in a similar way to how other technologies were viewed in the past. He said, our whole approach to it is, how do you use it as a creative tool? In the same way that the iPhone is used as a creative tool, is the way a new piece of technology that allowed people to communicate in ways that they never could before. Steven Soderbergh shot a whole movie on an iPhone in 2018, Unsane. And it's the same with CG or Avid or any other piece of technology. So that's our intersection point with it. And yeah, I think that AI can be a useful tool, but making it, make up entertainment or make art is whack as fuck to me.
I think AI is the new microwave.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When back in the what 70s, 60s or what have you, when the first microwave came out, people were popping popcorn. Then they find out they can heat up food or cook food in it. They got lazy because they figure, hey, this is so convenient. I can do something else. So now with AI, it's the same thing. It's so convenient. I can have a whole script done and do something else. But what are you doing productive with something else? Are you going to do some more dumb shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So AI is just,
And I don't nobody want to see that shit. Don't nobody want that AI generated shit.
And plus, AI has no soul. It can't create. It can only
Recreate.
gather information. That's all it does. It just amalgamizes the information through different prompts. So you say you give a description. I want Tarzan fighting Lionel inside a space station. So it'll grab all those trigger words and the way you say it and the way you type it, whatever. They'll put it all together and give you a fucking hodgepodge of bullshit.
Yeah.
It may look good, but there's no real soul to it, no real meaning. It's just you're just putting words together with no real feeling behind it. It's just going to spew out what you put into it. That's all AI is. Unless it becomes self-conscious, which when that happens, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. It's done deal. Terminators all day.
It might not be that. It might not be that bad, man. It might become self-aware and just be chill.
And
just
nah,
be chill. That's man. See, it might just come alive and be like, you know what? I'm gonna build me a spaceship and get up out of here. I'll see y'all later.
Right? Or it might find out, we see in the future that humans will be able to go across the planets and populate other planets. Oh, we can't have this. They're locusts. They destroy it. Boom.
Yeah. We can't let them do what they did to Earth to no other joint.
Exactly. So it's calculating.
But AI ain't got to do that. We already got the federation of beings is already out there making sure we either gotta evolve or we can't go nowhere. They not letting us. They're like, look, they using rockets and shooting up to the moon, but they don't understand that's not gonna get them no fucking where. That's nothing. You might as well. You're not doing nothing, dog. When we give them the real technology of how you can travel to other planets and shit, it might not even be in a metal rocket ship. It might be going through a portal. It might be any kind of thing. You don't even know. So when they're not giving us that technology. As long as we got nukes and bio war and we warmongering motherfuckers that we are, and
they're called Stargates.
They're called I know.
They're real.
Fucking viruses, locusts.
We just don't know.
Yeah, we're like right now we behave like a damn virus. So
yeah, like it's crazy, but to those creatives, don't fear AI because to create is to bring something out of nothing. AI needs something to create.
It does. It does need something. It needs something in the beginning, at least.
The only thing that's a threat is corporations. Those are the threats to creativity. Because now the corporations, we're going to find a quicker way to get this money and cut out the creatives because we don't need them in our offices. We don't need them here. We just put it on this, type it up, and boom, we got a good movie. And
that's why he said, Russo said, because if we lose control of the narrative, there are corporate entities who are going to be less concerned with the artist's role in the future of media than artists. You know what I'm saying? So once the corporate, once they get their hands on the shit, which they will, they can do whatever I mean, look, people, but people are worried.
Make
like,
money off it.
Well, artists are scared. Like artists are writers, musicians, people who draw, like any kind of artists, are scared that AI is going to take over their job or replace them. But I don't think it will. I think there'll always be a market for people wanting shit made by other people.
Yeah.
Like if you give me a painting and be like, "Oh, this is made by AI," I'm like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks cool." But if you say someone drew this shit, I'm like, "Wow, a person fucking made that? That's crazy."
Exactly.
I don't care if a fucking computer made it. That's not hella impressive to me.
And it's
it might look cool as fuck.
Yeah, it's gonna go back to the old days where you value craftsmanship and skill.
Right.
Rather than you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I like this haberdashery. Why would I need a robot to make my suit when I'm going to the haberdashery where these are artisans? They put it together for me. I'm feeling great in it. Where if you get it from a robot, yeah, the stitch might be off. You might be walking into the club or whatever you're going, looking crazy, not fitting right.
Right.
Nah, that instant shit it needs to go anyway. So
yeah.
Hard work always pays off.
Yeah, but you're right. Because who would want? I mean, we know a machine can draw whatever we want it to draw if we program it to do so. But from it coming from a human hand would be more feasible because like we don't see, be like, damn, who drew that? Because it takes time, it takes a lot of thought, a lot of energy for us. That's why whenever an artist paints something, or you see a guy, he's an artist and he painted something, and it's for the chat also. When you see somebody that's selling their art and they want a certain price, pay them. They put their time in it and their energy. Their thought, the paint, the materials, the canvas that it's on, or paper. None of that came cheap for the artist. He had to pay for that painting, and now he's trying to make something off it.
Just like my fellow artists, it's like when you see them, they say
for their talent.
Like they'll say, "Oh, I'll give you a discount." I'm like, "Never give me a discount on your art, man. This is your art, man.
It's your art, yeah.
I'll pay you for your art, man, because this is hard work. I know, and it's your soul. It's literally your soul. This is what people don't understand about creatives and art. Once you put that paint or that pencil down and you create that imagery, you're bringing it from your soul, literally. So when you're putting, when people see a painting, that's someone's soul up there, a part of their soul that they wanted to share. So it's very valuable. That's why those paintings are valuable, because the true essence of it, this is someone's soul. This is their view of how they felt when they created this piece. So that's why you see these modern arts or even the old art sell for billions and millions of dollars, because technically you're selling souls, part of people's souls, especially those who passed on. They left behind a part of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the real respect that artists should be revered by. Like they want to share themselves with the world, like, and it's sad where corporations like to abuse that. They really do. They like to.
Yeah, man.
And with those creatives that make these movies, the cartoons, the toys and stuff like that, these are hardworking people that sharing their soul. They're putting their souls into this stuff. Where corporations are soulless. They don't understand. All they understand is 1 + 1 is 2. Now understand,
the bottom line.
Not always make 2. It makes 3 or 4 or 5 in certain situations.
Yep.
Which app do you want to open?
Look.
And with that, y'all, man,
AI, it just pops in when you don't want it.
You know what I mean? Come on, y'all. But yeah, dog, it's rounding around to be 9 o'clock, y'all, and we're gonna wrap it up. But this was a great show, as always. We'll be back Saturday. Y'all already know, every Monday and Saturday, 7 p.m. Check us out. We'll see you guys, man. Have a good week and all of that, man. Be safe, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.